Hey Fab Gals, welcome to my Friday interview, and today I have a special treat for you. I have Ashley Abercrombie, who is actually the community pastor at the church that I go to here in New York, and she's going to tell us about how she has come to her level of self-confidence. Welcome, Ashley. It's so good to have you here.
So good to be here.
Thank you. I just want to say for those ladies who are new to my channel, welcome. And I'm Tracy Gold, and I really just share my fashion tips that make women look and feel fabulous. And on Fridays, I do the special thing where I do interviews with other women so that you can learn from other women. I don't just want you to learn from me. I want you to learn from a variety of different women at different ages, body shapes, sizes, and doing amazing things in their lives. So if you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button if you don't want to miss out. And if you're coming back, welcome. It's so good to have you here. My Fab Gal community are phenomenal. Okay, so Ashley, you know, I was absolutely struck when I saw you. So I came into church and I was new to Liberty, and I just was struck by your level of absolute confidence. And that's without even meeting you. Like, I didn't even meet you yet. I just saw you at the front and I was like, wow. So speak to me a little bit about that, how you got to that level of confidence.
Well, I mean, I'm 6'2", right? So already from the time I was a little kid, I was always a head taller than everyone else. So that can feel a little bit challenging. My mom, however, was always the kind of person who would just come up behind me and just like pop my back and be like, stand up straight and be proud of yourself. And so she was constantly encouraging me to own what I am, which was a really, really wonderful thing. Unfortunately, as I went through my life, had a series of events that happened to me and ended up struggling with an eating disorder in my late teens and early 20s. So I dealt with bulimia for 4 years of my life. And then it was another 4 years of my life before I really felt like I had overcome that, in a sense of feeling like, okay, it's not dominating my mind at all times. So I would say it was like a good 8-year journey for me to completely come out of that. And so it was less for me about image. That was obviously a big part of it, because it's usually, like in our world today, we're just inundated all the time of how we should look and what the standards are and how we should feel about ourselves and what we should wear and how our hair should look. And, you know, we have this idea that's sort of set up for us in society. And many times there are familial dynamics that reinforce those standards. And there are newsstands full of magazines telling us what we're not and how we can, you know, 10 steps to get to be this, that, or the other thing. So already culturally and familially, I'm getting these different messages. But also the eating disorder for me was very much about control and being able to share something. Like, I just didn't have the tools necessary to be in relationship with others in a way that would allow me to take my mask off and share that I had a need. And so I think in the beginning of my journey, it was very much a put on confidence versus like now it's an actual real confidence. So some of that journey for me looked like getting in recovery and really dealing with my past and dealing with my issues and facing the things that I needed to in order to be courageous and in order to live a life that was actually real confidence. It took a lot of guts for me to take my mask off and own who I am and own the things I had gone through. And then learning just practical tools, which is why I love what you're doing on your channel, because, right, we need that. I need to have crazy, thick, wild hair. You know, I have to figure out how to tame it, you know? It's wavy, it's wild. When it rains, it grows, you know? It's like a chia pet. It's horrible. And so I really had to learn, you know, like, okay, how do I practically do that? And then as a woman approaching 40 and I have 2 little kids at home, you know, like my life has changed. My financial margin has changed. What I can do in the mornings has changed. The kind of makeup I need to wear has changed.
Yes,
you know?
our skin changes.
Yes, it does.
And our needs change.
Yes, they do.
And the same things that we were doing. I mean, somehow, you know, when I put on eye makeup, it doesn't quite look the same as what it used to look. So I need different eye makeup. And that's okay. You know, it's letting your products and the things that you use and the props that you have to transition with you as opposed to trying to fit them into the life that you have now.
I love that. I love what you're saying, because I think so many of us waste so much time trying to get back to what we were. Versus like, hey, this is the season I'm in. I've had several babies. My body has changed. My boobs have changed. My everything about me has changed like
Yes.
22 times in the last 5 years, you know?
Yes.
So it's like, I got to own that. I'm not trying to get back to who I was when I was 25. I'm trying to figure out what's my best self right now.
Yeah.
You know, what's my best way of living? How can I really love who I am? How can I love the things that are coming out of my life, the things that I'm producing? How can I really love myself? And that's been my whole goal. And the more that I stick to that, the more that I feel confident in who I am. Because it's not about my pant size. It's not about what the scale says. It's not about what some magazine says. It's about like, hey, this is me. And I'm uniquely created and it's beautiful. And I get to own that, you know?
And boy, do you own it, Ashley.
Thank you.
And I think that, you know, there's two things I want to say. I think the first thing is I'm so encouraged by what you're saying as a woman and as a mother. So I'm not a mother, lady, so I have that disclaimer. But one of the things that I feel frustrated about, because I'm a personal stylist and I work with women and all different kinds of women, is women feel this unbelievable pressure to get back to what they were.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, you made a baby. You grew a baby in there.
Yes.
You now got the baby out of there.
Yes.
Whichever which way that came.
Correct.
And then you're wanting, and then the pressure is to get back to what I was. Now, I'm not saying don't have healthy exercise, don't do, you know, and I mean, but we're not going to go back.
That's right.
And as I age and I've got lines and I've got, you know, those things are not going to go back unless I go and intervene.
Yes.
And I get that some women feel the need to do that.
Sure.
But I really would love women to start to really own the stage of life that we're in. And I feel as a woman over 40, I feel like I've come more into my confidence than I've ever come.
Same.
In fact, my husband and I were having a conversation the other day and saying, if you could be any age, what would you be? But holistically. And I'd say, okay, if I could stop the aging process now, I'd stay the way I am. Because I wouldn't be younger. Because what I know now about myself, the level of confidence that I have in myself now, I'm really happy with who I am. And I'm 45.
Yeah.
I'm much happier than I was at 25.
Same.
No doubt.
Oh my gosh, same. I very often say like the 20s is the decade I would never want to return to.
Yes.
And I cannot, with confidence, I cannot replace any of those lessons that I learned. That was my recovery time. That was my journey out of so much hell, so much addiction, the eating disorders, like so many dysfunctional relationships. Like that was my journey out of my past. Yeah. But it was also for sure the decade where I felt the most insecure, the most like I was people pleasing, the most like approval of everyone else around me mattered more to me than who I am and what I really wanted. And I found it so hard to connect with my deepest desires and my most intimate needs. And versus when I entered my 30s and now approaching my 40s, I'm like, yes, life is amazing and I just don't have time for all that crap.
Yes,
and I just don't care what you think about me.
Yes, and Ashley, you're gonna find that. So Ashley's 39, and you're gonna find that. You're gonna care. I know. That's the wonderful thing about it. I know, because I think when we're younger, we're just caring so much about what we think and what
and women are taught to.
Yes, we're taught to do that.
Yes.
And I think we do that with each other.
Yeah, I agree.
But what I'm finding is that as we get older, we're actually caring less.
Yes.
We're not caring so much. And actually, we aren't competing with each other so much.
Yeah, which is so nice.
Because women do. We tend to. And we can be pretty mean to each other. I mean, we've all experienced it. And, you know, I had a live video the other day and we were talking about what it is. Why is it that we judge each other? And often the reason why we judge each other is because we're feeling insecure.
That's right.
And I'm finding as women become more confident in themselves, they allow other women to become more confident. And that brings me to my second point about meeting you, is that what I find so inspirational about you, Ashley, is because you have come to this place of true acceptance and groundedness in who you are. You are a massive inspiration to other women. And I think other men too. Like, I mean, you blow me away because, you know, you very candidly and openly share your stories. You share you share the process that you've been through in your life, the healing that you've experienced in your life. And now you get to share that. So can you speak a little bit about that? Because I feel like so many times as women, we get kind of insecure and we go, oh, but what have I got to share? How can I do it? And I'm finding when women step out and become themselves, they are impacting on so many people around them. Other women, other younger women. I mean, we have a lot of younger women around us at Liberty Church and in New York, and you know, all different ages. So how are you finding that your level of confidence is helping you to impact other people's lives?
Well, it's such a great question, and thank you for your kind words. I think that part of it is, you know, we're taught in a way that there's a pie out there, right? And we're so focused on getting our slice that if somebody else gets a slice, it means I don't have enough. And it's really living from this sort of scarcity mentality versus going, I'm a whole pie myself. Like, hi, I'm seated at the table. I'm a whole pie. Like, if you get a slice of your own pie, if you discover a new facet of yourself that's rich and beautiful and you are living that out in the world, it's not impacting my ability to do the same. And so I think more and more we have to realize that there's a place for us in this world. We are uniquely created. And so because of that, we have a place and we don't have to fight for our place. It just is. Like, that is a fact. And so I think, yes, there are, you know, I'm aware some women watching this, you may be like one of the only women in a boardroom. You might be the only woman on an executive team. And you might even be a mom at home just trying to figure out life. And you're like, look, I don't have this high capacity big job. I don't have all these things. And that's good. Like, we are all created with our spheres of influence in different seasons of life. And so I know that in some ways there is a fight and there is a push-pull. But at the same time, even with that, we all are created to take up space in this world. And we are all uniquely created with dreams and desires and capacity to do things. And so I'm just so sick of women having to live under this narrative that we're either too much or we're not enough. It's like, I just am. I exist in this world, and that's a good thing. And so I find that when sharing stories of brokenness and sharing the things that I've gone through, it just gives people not only the exhale of, oh, me too, I'm not alone, but it also reminds us we're all broken people. And so we don't have to walk around pretending like we have it all together and just smiling when we're supposed to smile and laughing when we're supposed to laugh and holding in all our pain and pretending like it doesn't exist or compartmentalizing it somewhere else or, you know, drinking 3 glasses of wine at night every night so that we can get through life, you know? I think it's okay to lead with brokenness because that is actually the human story. And struggle is a part of it, right? Like, you're not going to go through this life without struggle. We're not going to attain this place where we have no issues, no problems, no pain. Like, that's a fairy tale. It's a fantasy. It's not reality. Like, that is life.
It's interesting because I think it's weird that we kind of expect that.
Totally.
I mean, what is it?
I agree.
Is it movies? Is it series? Are we living in a situation where we think that life is supposed to be perfect and life is supposed to be easy?
Well, it'd be easier if it was, right? Like, I think that's part of it. So if you're always attaining to this level of perfection, then you don't have to live in reality. Because reality is really hard. Like, it's hard to go, man, there is a gap between what I hope for in this world and what I live every day. But we're supposed to live in that gap. Like, that's very normal. Every time you're trying to pursue something, a dream, a desire, a relationship, a career, like, there is a gap. And we don't like minding the gap. Like, we don't love those hallway moments. But life is made up of them, you know, the messy middle. That's most of life. The messy middle.
But, you know, what comes out of that messy middle is who it makes us be who we are.
That's it.
And I think, you know, if I look at my life and I look at challenges that I've faced, I wouldn't be the woman I am. If it wasn't for that. I wouldn't have this channel. You know, it takes a lot to be a YouTube influencer. It takes a lot of hard grind and hard work and continuing and persistence. And, you know, if I hadn't had a lot of no's in my life, if I hadn't had people telling me I couldn't do things, there's no way I would do this. Because as soon as I had a bad comment or as soon as I had a negative feedback, I would have quit. Now I'm like, okay, that's all right. Let's move on next time. And I think that's very powerful. So Ashley, I always have to bring it to style because this is a fashion channel. And although we talk about all things other than, I know you're not a fashionista girl, and that's completely okay. And I like that because I like to speak to women of all different walks of life. And so how do you, I mean, you still in a way, pardon the expression, but you still in a way are a performer. I mean, you get up on stage. you know, you speak,
Sure.
you share your story.
Yep.
You also are a podcaster. You have your own blog. You've written a book.
Yes.
You know, you still are a public figure. So how do you put this together in a way that makes you feel good about yourself? Because you need to be confident. I mean, let's be real. To share your story at the level of vulnerability that you share, you have to feel confident about what you're wearing.
Yes, that's true.
I mean, let's be
agree.
real. So what is that process for you?
Okay, so my process is that I keep it simple.
Okay.
So I have very little color in my closet. Mostly because that's my vibe anyway, but also keeping it very simple with black, white, gray, and some type of neutral, like blush. So keeping
Blush
it simple.
is a good color for
Blush
you.
is a great color. It's a great neutral. And then the places I'll go wild might be with shoes. Maybe I'll have some cheetah shoes or something, some kind of red high heel or something like that, or earrings. I'll go wild in those ways because then my style can stay consistent over the years. I also live on a very small budget when it comes to style, so I don't have a lot of resources that I'm able to spend in order to create a great style. So what I'll do is like, okay, well, if I have consistent colors and I change it up with shoes, with earrings, with hair, then I'm able to sort of navigate, and people don't really notice as much if I've worn the same shirt 2 weeks in a row, as long as my shoes are different or my hair looks different or my earrings look different. So those are my secrets. I also really care about my nails. Like I get my nails done, you know, because I'm like, I'll do that.
Your nails always look good.
I do. I care about nails. So it's like that in a way for me is part of my expression that allows me to live on my budget, that doesn't force me to buy new clothes every season or every new trend that comes. So that's why I like to keep it simple with color, with style, and then funk it up with a few other little things.
That's awesome. So we're also going to do a style makeover on Ashley. We're going to do some fun things and just showing how to look good on a budget, because I think a lot of women are on a budget.
Agreed.
And actually, I mean, we'll speak about why sometimes we're on budgets and why we have restrictions. I mean, New York, you don't have much space. I mean, that's just a reality of the situation. So you have to have smaller, confined closets, more curated, less to more to wear, less items. But Ashley, this is just amazing. I really, I'm so enamored, and I feel very humbled by you sharing your stories. Tell us a little bit about the book that you have, because I don't even know about it actually. So tell us about the book that's coming out.
I'd love to. So on October 1st, I'm releasing my first book, which is called Rise of the Truth Teller, and it is it's about owning your story, telling it like it is, and just living a life of gumption. It's about the grit and grace that's required to do life, and I share very candidly my own personal story and my journey, and then also my journey into justice, my journey into peace, my journey into like true life without a mask on, like how to live unfiltered in this world, and how much relationships matter. Like we need each other so badly, and so just stop pretending and just get real. So that's what my book is about.
That's incredible. Well, can I pre-order?
Yes, you can.
Good.
Go get it. We would love to have you go purchase it.
So I'll put all the links below, because I think it's really important. And also your podcast and your website. And she's got an amazing newsletter list. So definitely get on her list. I'll put all the links below. And ladies, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Comment below and let us know, what did Ashley say that really resonated with you? What questions do you maybe have for her? And you can also reach out to her. And I will be responding, so feel free. She is phenomenal. So let us know, ladies. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Just a reminder again, I found out 84% of my viewers are not subscribers.
Oh my gosh! Subscribe! What are you doing?
Well, it means we've got a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more coming. So ladies, if you haven't already, there's a little button below, subscribe, hit that. And you can also hit the little bell next to it, because the bell, which is underneath the video, okay? So there's a subscribe on the screen, and then underneath the video is the red subscribe, and there's a little bell. And if you hit that, you will be notified when I do a new upload on Tuesdays and Fridays. So be sure to do that. And if you don't know how to get into YouTube, to log into YouTube, it's as simple as this. If you have a Gmail email account, you can log into YouTube with a Gmail account.
So easy.
Super easy. And then you can comment and you can subscribe. And what's great about my community, Ashley, is that they reply to each other as well. They have the conversations going on completely separate from me, which is wonderful. Yay! So be sure to subscribe, ladies. Till next time, have a good day. Cool. That's it.
Okay, awesome.
Yay! That was awesome.